Hello and welcome to another episode of Into the Horror. Today we explore 2002 horror film Dark Water. I mean this one, not this one. Dark Water was directed by Hideo Nakata, the guy who directed the original Japanese Ringu, as well as the English remake The Ring. And it falls into the category of little ghost girl movies that started off in the early 2000s. But despite being nearly 20 years old, Dark Water still holds up as a great scary movie. So let's dive into the horror of Dark Water. Before we continue, a spoiler warning is now in effect because, obviously, movies like Dark Water, Ringu, and Ju-on were the first wave of Asian horror movies that featured little ghost girls. And despite the ghost girl becoming a really common trope in modern horror film, Dark Water uses it sparingly and to great effect. Like this. This is Yoshimi Matsubara, a woman going through a very difficult divorce, living with her daughter, Ikuko. Her husband is trying his hardest to get custody of their daughter, and TLDR, she has to handle a job, a divorce, and being a single mother. Over the next 1 hour and 40 minutes, all of these troubles are further complicated by the appearance of a weird little ghost girl. Dark water, well, from the title, dark water is leaking everywhere from the roof in her apartment, in the elevator that takes her up to her floor, and basically the whole building. I mean, you'd think this is something that you would check before you moved into a house. I don't know, like it's just the place you're going to be spending all of your time in. So, what's the next logical step? Of course, you have to move into the creepy looking place. Yoshimi and her daughter Ikuko move into this house. Creepy vibes be damned. And soon after, weird things start to happen. Yoshimi finds a creepy little red bag that refuses to disappear no matter how many times she gets rid of it. Ikuko makes an imaginary friend who might just be a little too real, and both Ikuko and Yoshimi keep seeing a little girl in a yellow raincoat. Meanwhile, Yoshimi is also trying to find that mythical thing that all employers keep promising us, but never deliver on: work life balance. And the little girl in yellow is really trying to fuck with her and her daughter. Their house is leaking, she's hearing noises, she's seeing things, and this all makes it harder for her to seem mentally stable and hold on to custody of her daughter. And her soon to be ex husband is using all of this to make her look completely unstable, and of course, this makes it harder for her to retain custody of her daughter. Soon, Yoshimi discovers that a little girl had gone missing in the area. A little girl who was wearing a yellow raincoat and carrying a red bag. The same damn bag that does not disappear no matter what she does. A coincidence? I think not.
There are no accidents.
All through this, there are some solid scares. There are no jump scares per se, and all the things you see and hear are very, very unsettling, but not loud and in your face. Which, at this point, you should know I really love, and it's the mark of a great horror movie when they don't need to use jump scares or loud noises to make you feel like you got scared. As the movie draws to its end, Yoshimi turns up at her house to find that the leaking water situation has become much, much worse. And after a little poking around, she discovers that this is all because the floor upstairs has a house that's literally flooding. The water is turned on and it's been running for God knows how long, and it's like an indoor swimming pool minus the fun. So, guess who lived in that house? No prizes for guessing correctly. Of course, it was a little girl, Mitsuko. Her full name is Mitsuko Kawai, and Mitsuko's mother abandoned her and then she went missing and was never found. Soon after, Yoshimi finds the little red bag once again, and boom, flashback time. Turns out that the little girl's bag had fallen into the water tank above the building when she was playing on the roof one time, and while she was trying to get it, she fell into the tank, and her body was never discovered because apparently no one cleaned that tank in like 4 years. And in all likelihood, that little girl's body is still decomposing in the tank above her building, which is why the water is so dark. Now, the last sequence in this movie has one of the best scares I've seen in any horror movie, hands down. The tension, the build up, the ultimate point where it breaks is so well done that I watched it for the second or the fifth time, I don't remember. I watched it for this review, And I still got scared. Like, I had to close my eyes. I was that scared. Again, there's a very heavy spoilers warning here because if you want to watch the movie, you should probably stop at this point and go watch it and then come back.
Few moments later.
So let's continue. Yoshimi finds Ikuko with her head in a tub of water, drowning in a bathtub in their house, and the whole house is flooded. So she grabs her, she runs to the elevator, and she is freaking out because everything is just falling apart around her. The elevator is flooding, the hallway is flooding, everything is fucking flooding. She tries to close the elevator very frantically, but it doesn't work. She's got her daughter in her arms and she looks down the hallway and she sees the door to her apartment slowly opening, very, very slightly. And guess who walks out? If you guess the little girl in yellow, Mitsuko, then you're wrong. Not Mitsuko, no. Out walks her daughter, Ikuko. Which means the girl in Yoshimi's arms, the one she's trying to save, is actually Mitsuko. And that reveal, even watching it a decade after seeing it for the first time, made me cover my eyes. That's how well it's made and how terrifying it is. So Mitsuko holds on tight to Yoshimi's neck while her real daughter is watching from outside the elevator. After a few looks at Ikuko, Yoshimi realizes that she has to go with the crazy little ghost girl and leave her daughter behind, because the crazy little ghost girl needs her more. And then Ikuko is then treated to a massive bath, the Shining style. 10 years go by after this. Now we see Ikuko all grown up and in high school. She goes back to the house she lived in as a child and finds her mother still there, unable to leave. And then everything comes back to her. She remembers everything that happened when she was a child, all the things that she'd forgotten for years. And as Yoshimi tells her that she can't leave the house because Mitsuko needs her more, you see the creepy little ghost girl in the background. And with that, the movie comes to an end. So, is this a good movie? Definitely. The last sequence with Yoshimi is without a doubt the most terrifying part of this movie. It's so scary, like I told you earlier, that almost 20 years since the movie came out and 10 years since I saw it for the first time, I was literally like, oh fuck, I can't watch this, oh fuck, I can't watch this. And it still scared me. That's how well it's made. You definitely need to check out Dark Water if you're a fan of good horror movies. So, would I recommend it? Well, I just answered that question. Yes, definitely go watch it. It's a good horror movie from the early 2000s. It delivers some very memorable scares that will stick with you. Have a little patience, that's the only thing I'll tell you, because in some parts the movie might drag very mildly, but overall, across the board, Dark Water is a great horror movie. It gets a solid 3.5 on 5 from me. So go watch it, you'll find it somewhere online, and come back and thank me later, and tell me what you thought about this in the comments below. Now don't forget, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please do, because it makes a huge difference to me right now, and every single subscription brings me one step closer to my goal of hitting 1,000 subs. So like, share, subscribe, you know the usual drill. Please do all of that and tell me what you think, and if you had suggestions for any other movies I need to do in the future. Till then, this is Vishnu and I will see you later.